Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. As today, I'd say we're just about done here. Gave the place another full pass. Doesn't seem like there's anything we missed. No apparent ways to activate the stalled elevator. Though I do suspect that we'll get something either right before or right after we leave. But before we get into that, we've got some level ups. So let's run through these real quick. And as per usual, nothing really all that vital here. Just banking some extra bonuses here and there. For example, Val will pick up Sniper Expertise. That's a bit of extra armor pen. And then since he has had a bit of an issue with positioning during the pre-fight setup, we'll go ahead and grab Swift Movement as well. After that, we've got Abby, who's already basically as tanky as he ever needs to be, so we'll go ahead and bump his offense with Impetus. That's a massive damage boost on his charge move. Followed by Melee Specialist, one I've had my eye on for a while now. That will reduce the cost of his hammer shove down to just 1 AP. I do love pushing people around on the battlefield. Followed by Cass, who will keep things simple with Steel Resolve, a flat +3 bonus to resolve. And then Characteristic Training Willpower, which against all odds, she somehow did not already have. I guess because she had been spending all of her slots on Navigator stuff. But better late than never, I suppose. As an added bonus that even bumps her up to a nice even increment, which in turn scales up a whole bunch of her Navigator stuff. Next we've got Pask, and we're basically going to completely ignore all of his class stuff at this point. And just focus on filling out his Tech Priest talents, starting with Skirmish Protocols. A nice solid bump to his melee damage and armor pen, followed by Acceleration Protocols. A massive bump to his start of fight mobility, which should in turn also apply to the setup phase, but then also an MP Chaser for all of his melee attacks. Which just leaves Yerliet and Adira, who obviously won't be traveling out in the field with us much anymore, but they're here now, so might as well bump them up. But we will keep it simple, starting with Sniper Expertise for Yerliet, so more armor pen. And a Ballistic Skill Chaser. Whereas Adira will just double down on Psychic buffs, starting with Advice and Guidance, which I'm really hoping is Psychic Relay compatible, because otherwise it's just one person per fight. And then Fatebringer, a nice armor pen chaser on all of her normal buffs. And that's pretty much it. So, with our new bonuses banked, let's see what comes next.
I used to dream of visiting a feudal world, a land straight out of the pages of heroic chronicles. But now I dream of forgetting that place. The sooner the better.
It pains me to say this, but I believe visiting Thasara was beneficial for you. Such experiences greatly expand one's horizons.
Yeah, I mean, Abby's not wrong, but I wouldn't... Thasara kind of had some other stuff going on, too. Oh. The Voxcaster under your armor suddenly spits out a cacophony of sounds. The growl of chainswords, human screams, the screech of metal, and the rattling interference of an active Voxcast. Working the buttons, switches, and tumblers only makes it worse. Skillfully wielding your tools, you open the device's case and check each part's condition. The boxcaster does not enjoy your manipulations and hisses at you. Then the lumens on its screen glow red, and the broadcast stops. But the comm does not persist for long. Right before your eyes, the device's remains burst into purple sparks, and the dead speaker emits the familiar voice of Speaks with Gods, hoarse and feeble. "O Starborn, Sky Herald of the Eagle God, hear the prayers of your servant sent to you through the myriad forests of Trimmier. The nightmare has become real. The darkness left the forest, but the light of the dying star can still be saved. The heart of the forest calls out for you." As soon as the priest's voice stops, your entire body arches with a crack, as if electrocuted. You are standing on the tips of your toes, staring at a crimson sky at dusk that has turned into an ocean of spilt blood. Its still surface is broken by a hand with fingers covered in rings, and Caligos Winterscale emerges from the depths, only to take a single breath and disappear once more into the blood. It happens again, and again, and again, until he finally notices you. He throws out his hand and reaches for you. He reaches out, and the illusion fades away, leaving only a splitting headache in its wake. "Oh, Caligos, buddy, what are you doing?"
"Processing acquired data. Restoring. Restoration complete."
The slightly altered voice of the priest comes from Pascal's Vox system, as he repeats the message you just received. "Ah!" Adira digs her nails into her face, purple sparks gleaming at the ends of her hair. "The dusk sun has reached the treetops, and the crimson heart has struck its last beat. The dying stars have no hope left. Run, fools! Back!" I could barely understand the speech of this monkey, but one thing is clear: their settlement needs help. I care little about the woes of these primitive creatures. I am simply paying reparations for the pain that my kin have brought upon this world. By the throne's radiance, those psychers certainly love speaking in riddles. And now we are supposed to go herring off and make guesses about what has happened. Abelard nervously fiddles with his mustache. Still, his tone made it clear that it is nothing good, and I fear that it is already too late. A rotten feeling, I dare say. Yeah, but we've got to at least try. Though I do suspect it's far too late. Oh, yeah, we can already see signs of slaughter. I mean, these folks didn't seem like they were really combat capable. Alright, let's get a gander. Do we have any survivors? Certainly doesn't look like it. Blood for the rogue trader's throne! Skulls for the skull god! Caligos Winterscale laughs uncontrollably, looking around the blood-soaked village. His eyes are full of rage, as if absolute insanity has possessed him. Wharton the Grey seems hypnotized by his master's words, his bloodshot eyes alight with slowly growing flame. Unnatural, frightening, demonic. The remaining members of Winterscale's retinue have dispersed around the village's center. The navigator apathetically observes the massacre from a distance. The tech priest appears overly fascinated with assembling and disassembling her own leg augmatics, and the Slith mercenary is razing the village, wholly satisfied. Only Caligos's new psyker speaks with gods. Is nowhere to be seen. Caligos turns around and gives you the broadest of smiles. Ah, Valen! How was your hunt? Caligos, what have you done? Caligos's smile grows faint, condescending. You convinced me to stop hunting the Xenos, new blood, but thirst and melancholy got the better of me sooner than I anticipated. I grew bored, and those worthless peasants squealed so miserably that I wanted to strangle them more, and more, and more. His eyes briefly glaze over. This monkey killed his own kin just because he could not kill mine? Yurliet's face is shadowed by a shroud of guilt. I did not wish for it to end this way, Elentak. Yeah, well, join the club. Caligos, there's clearly something wrong with you. You have to realize that. What are you saying, new blood? Have the Xenos addled your mind in so short a time? Caligos looks at you with a mix of surprise and confusion. Didn't Theodora explain to you that in the Expanse, baseless accusations went out of style a good 100 years ago? His palette is mixed in a very strange way. The red completely covers his eyes, but everything around him glows gold and silver. I think that his lordship Caligos Winterscale simply does not see the true colors of his deeds. Caligos, you slaughtered an entire village of your own people. How can you not see that as a sign of obvious heretical depravity? They were born on my planet, living their pointless lives for a single purpose: to one day satisfy their master. They have fulfilled their purpose, Caligos responds with a crooked grin. The rogue traitor seeks to befog your mind, master. Such insolence! Slit his throat, quickly! Despite being oblivious to his arch-militant's words, Caligos unwittingly tenses his back and shoulders. The look in his eyes is even more feral now than before. It's him, Morton the Grey, your arch-militant. He's altering your perception somehow. You don't even seem to realize the atrocities you're committing. He's obviously an agent of the arch-enemy. I raised that boy and taught him how to kill. Yes, Wharton is fearless and fierce, but it's just what one would expect from a loyal dog. Caligos turns around and finally notices the blood-covered arch-militant. Something about his servant seems to have puzzled him. What's wrong with your eyes, Wharton? The arch-militant bares his fangs rabidly. After several moments of silence, Caligos absent-mindedly looks away. Where were we? Ah, yes, new blood. Have I already told you that your accusations are baseless? Gosh, did you? Why don't we double-check with your seneschal? What nonsense are you spewing, new blood? Erdrig died at the hands of the Xenos who attacked our camp at night. Either Caligos is a skillful liar, or he truly cannot remember what actually happened. Flinching as if struck by a whip, Winterscale suddenly stares at the village with the look of someone who is seeing it for the first time. Confusion and unease creep into his gaze. Wait, what happened here? Who dared? The realization forms new lines on his face. No, I surely couldn't have. Or... I told you it's him, Morton the Grey. You've fallen under his influence, but you're still in there. You're still fighting it. You're seeing things as they really are. This is your last chance, Caligos. Cleave this upstart in two with the axe that I blessed for you. Skin him and bathe in his blood. We will forget everything and continue on our journey. To hunt and to kill. This is the way you prefer to drown out your loneliness and boredom, is it not? This is all you're doing, you wretched cur. Caligos swings his axe at the arch-militant, but he evades the mortal blow with the grace of a viper. I showed you mercy, and you've been corrupting my soul this entire time? Forcing me. No one forced you, Caligos. I merely enabled your desire, fostered it, and made your crimson rage blossom. You suspected, yet your own pride stopped you from recognizing your weakness. Wharton's speech becomes more and more distorted with each word, and a thought swells in the back of your mind. You wish to kill him, tear him apart, here, now. Weak, worthless fool! I have spent so many years growing this rage inside you, and still you resist. Did you think you could refuse the blessings of the Skull God at the last moment? Well, one way or another, he will claim you all. Wharton's flesh bursts, and the last thing you notice is his hateful gaze turning to you. Oh, wow, okay. Caligos Winterscale lies on the ground, staring into the endless sky of Trimmier. His pelvis is twisted unnaturally, his legs are not moving, and an exposed bone shard protrudes from his right arm. Blood streams down his chin in a thin rivulet, with no sign of stopping. It was a good fight, New Blood. For the first time, Caligos Winterscale's voice is calm and humble. By the throne, Caligos, why did you rush in like that? We could have taken him down together. You didn't need to save me. Well, you did rush in to save my fallen soul, didn't you, Valen? A feeble smile appears on his battered face. It's the least I could do for the one who so arduously tried to make me see. Look, just hold still, okay? You're badly injured. I'm not sure we can fix this. It seems that you may be correct. Caligos does not look dismayed by your words in the slightest. After all, I can't even feel anything below the chest. Aside from an overwhelming feeling of helplessness, of course. He lets out a contented wheeze instead of a laugh. So what happens now? I'm not just going to leave you here to bleed out. Oh, don't worry about me, Val. I'll remain here with what's left of my escort and wait for help. And you should go. There are still so many undiscovered stars and unknown worlds out there. Caligos's eyes once again turn to the sky, where the first stars begin to appear. No, look. Don't be ridiculous. We're already here. We've got a shuttle. We'll get you back to the Emperor's Vow. Just hang in there, okay? There's no need. But if you're so concerned about an old man's health, I shan't stop you. Wow, and I guess that's it. Man, I really thought we were in for a fight here. Also, yet another level up on tap. I don't know. I mean, on the one hand, I'm happy that we were able to talk Caligos down, even though things obviously didn't end in an ideal fashion with him in his current condition, though it's certainly better, I suppose, than just being evil and dead. Still a lot of potential good he can do, even as he is. Though I'm also really kind of bummed out about the dwellers in the forest. That does seem like an indirect price paid.
Always keep your eye on the price.
For resolving things peacefully with the Aeldari. Stereotypical Warhammer ending, really. There's always got to be some bittersweet note. But, you know, we did what we could, we saved who we could, and no shade against the Dwellers, but I do feel like the Aeldari and a fellow rogue trader will make slightly better allies for the days to come. Anyway, one sec. Let me figure out these level ups real quick. And we're back. Alright, let's run through this. Once again, just banking extra bonuses, nothing all that notable. Though a few things that we might get some use out of at least. First up, everyone gets a new ability. Most of them are useless to us now, but we'll go ahead and grab Intimidation, why not? A very slight damage debuff. Though there is a talent that might make it more useful. Might grab that with our last slot. And stat boost. We'll keep it simple. We'll just bump Ballistic. Caps us out at 95. Next up, Abby, who also gets an ability, of course. And for him, we'll go ahead and grab Follow My Lead. Pretty straightforward. Grants a plus 20 damage and armor pen boost versus enemies within 2 tiles of him. Then, as for his stat boost, again, keeping things simple, we'll go ahead and grab Strength, which will leave him at an auto mount for now, but he does also have that Exalted perk that scales his strength up as he gains additional hit points, so, in theory, he should cap over 130. After that, Cass, who gets her final Navigator power, and we've got a number of interesting options here. But I think we're going to go with Show the Path, which is one that I previously scoffed at, given its price and relatively limited utility, but since we do primarily use her to get Abby into the fray as early as possible, I think that actually plays into it pretty nicely. You know, start him 5 spaces back, charge him in, get him set. Though he's certainly not the only one who could potentially benefit from it. And then as for her stats, it really honestly doesn't matter. She's already capped on her primaries, but we'll go ahead and round out intelligence. That at least will have some very minor utility with her grand strat abilities. Speaking of which, next up Pask. And in his case, we will in fact take another grand strat. Trench Line Stratagem. A modest but potentially useful defensive buff. And then we'll go ahead and chase that with a bit more strength, why not? Same deal as with Abby. It leaves him at a weird amount, but in theory, he should end capped just over 90. Then Yurliette, who is pretty much done out in the field, but we'll go ahead and grab her raid anyway. That one allows allies to benefit from her prey markers. And then, as with Valen, we'll go ahead and bump her Ballistic. Which just leaves Adira, who of course will focus on psychic stuff, and in this case, we'll go ahead and grab Perfect Timing. Potentially fun, but also kind of redundant given how we built Abby in solo. And then her final characteristic bump, which literally doesn't matter, since we can't actually even anything out. But we'll go with Intelligence, why not? That does feel narratively appropriate, given our recent character growth. And that's it. Level 53. 2 more to go, and then we hit hard cap. That's it. Let's go do some quick follow-up. Okay, no immediate hail. And we cannot interact with the Emperor's Vow. Oh, wow. Our journal is almost completely empty at this point. Actually, wait, we don't even have a follow-up for Yurliet. We just have one for Adira. Huh. I mean, I hope Yurliet still has something to say to us. It would feel really weird if we went through all that and then she just clammed up. Well, let's see what we can do. Cece, I missed you. How you doing, baby? Oh, such a cutie. And might as well hit up Danrock while we're here. I believe we've got some new trade goods to turn in. We'll hold on to the armor. I might fine-tune that one. Trim off that extra 10%. Still enough to bump us up a rank. Which officially puts us past the 2/3 mark. And also nets us our very first Space Marine helmet. The Virtue of Contempt. Doubles burning damage from flamers. Fantastic. That is pretty much the perfect helmet to get for our particular Ulfar. Also, it's a beaky helmet. I do like those. Oh, weird. Okay, so these are clearly tier 23, but for some reason there's no individual marker for them. Which is fine. I mean, there's nothing there we really need anyway. We'll grab those once we hit tier 24. Ulfar, enjoy your new helmet. Should go very nicely with your Explorator Flamer. Also, it should have ample room for your facial hair, though it might be a bit awkward. Nah, I'm sure you'll be fine. And we will actually get some use out of that, since we have not done his full companion quest yet. I imagine that'll be resolved once we hook back up with Kalkazar. At least, based on what Ulfar told us earlier. Adira? When Adira sees you, her lips curve into a smile. Quite a day, huh? Just figured I'd swing by and check in on you. How you doing after everything that just happened?
Never been better, Lord Captain. No joke. As soon as I stopped fearing for my life, even the voices in my head quieted down. But don't get me wrong, they will come back. And one day I'll find myself in a situation I can't get out of. But for now, I'm fine. And it's all thanks to you.
Adira's smile broadens.
You know, I think it's pretty ironic that my gift lets me see the future, when thinking about the future is the thing I'll do anything to avoid. Substances of all kinds, jokes, stories about their good old days. I hide under them all like a blanket. As long as I don't poke my head out, everything will be okay. At least, that's what I thought. But I'm tired of living other people's stories. I want to tell my own. I don't know when or how mine will come to an end, but I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that somebody someday tells at least one decent story about Adira Tlass. And I can't think of a better way to do that than by standing shoulder to shoulder with you.
I mean, don't sell yourself short. Sure, I might leave you on the bench a lot these days, but I feel like we've still had enough adventures together to at least fill out a modest anthology.
Then what are we waiting for? Get a scribe in here. We need to get all this down before we forget. But we have to make me more heroic and powerful so that I come out looking the best next to your other companions. What do you reckon? How many wastrels have we slaughtered? 1 million? Stuff that. Let's make it 2.
All right, well, let's not go crazy there. We want to be portrayed as heroes, not war criminals. But hey, just take care of yourself, okay?
Of course. Always at your service. Whenever you need me.
And again, about as happy an ending as you could probably hope for given the circumstances. Death still looms, but at least she's come to grips. Gibbs? Juliet, you got anything for me?
Elantak? I trust your journeys were fruitful.
Juliet makes an intricate gesture, inviting conversation. Okay, new greeting, but I'm not seeing anything else. Let me try again.
Elantak? What do you wish to talk about?
Wow, okay.
The words of truth.
I guess that's it. Maybe it's one of those cases where she would have had more if we were actively romancing her. I have heard they lock a lot of content behind the romance gates, like with Heinrichs or Jai. But I do know one way we can coax a conversation out of her. The soothing water caresses your senses. You relax and close your eyes. Tension and stress melt away. Master of Ablutions, would you please send for Juliet? Oh, Solo, why are you still an option? Yes, please call in Juliet, my Eldari companion. At once, my lord. You should not have called upon me for the sake of your own idle amusement, Salantak. The children of Asuryan delight in unity, both with the universe and their kin. One of the ways in which we achieve this unity is symphonic creation. When an Asuryani wishes to rest and spend time with her closest kin, we weave images with our voices. Each of us adds something of our own, until the melody becomes a harmonious tapestry, woven from different sounds. Yeah, we've got that too. It's called singing. Though perhaps yours is different? Juliet looks at you curiously, though you see doubt in her eyes. I do not know how much you truly understand what I have told you. Still, if your soul seeks harmony... She closes her eyes and begins to hum a peculiar melody. It follows a strange, unpredictable rhythm, as though she is drawing intricate patterns with her voice. Oof, fellowship. I mean, 1 in 3 chance, not beyond the realms of possibility. Hey, nice. You begin to sing, guided by your own emotion more than any specific rhythm or motif. Every now and then, Juliet changes the flow of the melody, encouraging you to add something new to the song. A warm feeling settles over you like a gentle embrace, and Juliet's expression softens. We created an unusual tapestry together, Elantak. It is unlike any I have woven with my kin. You lack expertise, but you do understand the purpose of the weave. And in our brief melody, I found peace. Juliet sounds almost surprised, and she falls silent for a moment. I must leave now. May you find rest in body and spirit. Short but sweet. Honestly, I think one of our most positive interactions with her. Which I guess does make it fitting for the more or less finale of her character arc. Maeve? I will say, it does kind of make me wish we'd pursued her romance path a bit more persistently. But, you know, they choke point it with the whole Kimura thing. And I just couldn't bring myself to immediately forgive her for what she had done. I certainly would now, but it's too late. It was then or never, so here we are. That's fine, though. I still got Cece. Man, so we really are getting down to it, huh? 2 quests left in our log, one of which is essentially uncompletable, since we hucked the second sword shard into an open reactor. Which means Kalkazar should be trying to contact us any time now. Let's pop back out and see. And there we go. Lord Captain, the astropaths are reporting a new message. It says, Lord Inquisitor Kalkazar is sending his regards to your lordship, and is hoping to meet you in his palace at Footfall at your earliest convenience. Well, he certainly didn't phrase it like it's an emergency, so I think he can afford to wait a bit. Tell him that we're halfway across the Khorners, but we'll start heading his way once we've finished tying loose ends. As you wish, Lord Captain. Nice, okay. I was worried they might try to force the point, or otherwise cast a negative light on the decision to delay, but that does buy us some time to finish up with these last few rumors. Alright, give me 1 sec to chart our final loop, and we'll get this show on the road. Lord Captain, we have just received an urgent message from Dargonis. Marshal Strox requests that you come to the Administratum Palace for a discussion of the utmost importance. Alas, that is the extent of what we know. The message ends there. Right. We still have Solo's thing. I actually completely forgot about that. But we'll save that for next time. Obviously, we're currently en route to the unknown sectors out here. Silbanikos and Neos Charditas. We'll knock those out, then maybe head back. Oh, and... right. Speaking of knocking things out, 1 sec. And we're back. Yeah, barely a speed bump. We finished it almost comically fast, but it does, however, give us an ideal opportunity to go ahead and finish up these level ups, at least with our mainstays. Starting with Kibbles. So we'll go ahead and grab Bloody Requiem. That's just a nice solid bump to resolve. Followed by Characteristic Training Strength. Same reason as Abby and Pask. Then, honestly, none of these really appeal, but we'll go ahead and grab Exsanguination. It's the one I could at least imagine myself potentially using. Might come in handy while she's running laps around the map. Followed by another strength bump. Puts her within spitting distance of 140 by cap. And then Solo. Who I will note actually does not need Stronger Together, because his attribute is Toughness, which is also Abby's Toughness, and he's pretty much a permanent fixture in our party. So instead, I mostly just focused on Arbiter stuff, such as pacification procedures, which we did have previously, if briefly, but I ended up dropping when I respec'd him to make him Secrets of the Forerunner compatible. Yeah, that and the free grenade ability. Grenadier, I think. Those were both casualties of that respec. But we'll go ahead and grab them back now. There we go. Important to grab the soldier version of that talent, since we need the common slot for something else, which will instead go towards Instant Retribution. Automatic counterattack on successful shield block, which, as per the description here, does stack with Stalwart Defense. I mean, granted, Shield Bash isn't exactly a high-power attack, but free attack's a free attack. As for our new ability, we'll go ahead and grab Strategic Adaptation. That'll be a nice occasional attack buff, with potential for yet another free attack. And final characteristic bump. We'll go ahead and round out Agility, since that is also tied to Demolition, which is his primary. And that's pretty much it. Kibbles and Solo caught up. We do still have to take care of Argenta, Heinrichs, and a few of the others as well, but I'll let future retcon worry about that. For now, we have a sector to explore. And yeah, after reviewing the map, I do think that we've got a pretty good loop ahead of us. We'll do these two sectors, then we'll hop straight from there over to Viabos 6. Then from Viabos 6, we can take care of these two rumor zones, which in turn will put us within spitting distance of Kiava Gamma. And then from there, we can just scoot through all of our settlements, get those settlement events taken care of, and then back to Dargonis, meet up with Marshal Strox. And right off the bat, we've got Enemies of Humanity. Plus Space Dust, that's free fuel. Nice. Not a full stack, but pretty close. Lava World. Nothing notable. Looks like a gas giant, so possible fuel? No, no luck. Fair enough. Not sure about this one. Barren world of some sort, perhaps. Desert world. Okay, fair enough. With Xenotech, which we can't harvest. And then looks like a little temperate world. Oh, Idex. That's the world Rualdo came from. The real Rualdo, not Maeve's brother. It was like a meat-packing planet or something. Okay, I'll bite. Idex is a planet of no particular note. However, the small station suspended in its orbit sends a distress call to your ship. The man in the hurried Vox transmission introduces himself as the planet's governor and asks for the rogue trader's assistance in a delicate matter. He promises to supply the details in a private Vox conversation. It appears Idex recently suffered a major coup. One of its noble families seized power and made outcasts of the former dynasty. Such plots are not uncommon, although, notably, Idex has become less prosperous under the new government. Yeah, after our experience with Rualdo the Fair-Faced, I think we'll err on the side of caution here. We're not going to make it look like we're conspiring with a potential dissident. We'll keep it above board. The governor's transmission is interrupted by an official request from the planet. Idex's authorities are claiming that the person who just contacted you is a member of a heretical sect of nobles who has escaped from the Warden's custody. The planetary government is asking, in the name of the Imperium, that the traitor be eliminated at once. I mean, I'm not exactly keen to just start blowing people up. I was hoping we could maybe talk this out, but... Alright. Well, tell me this. During my travels, I encountered a fellow named Rualdo the Fair-Faced. He also came from Idex. I imagine you're familiar with the name? Rualdo used to be a member of Idex's ruling dynasty, before being sent away by his own family. The government is wary of Rualdo, due to his rumored involvement in heresies of some sort. Right. Okay, well, if they don't approve of Rualdo, that would certainly speak well of their judgment, so... The station's fiery remains adorn the sky of Idex. Whoever was on there will never be ruler of anything again. Which nets us estranged. Sadly useless to us. The Idexian Parliament that contacted you sends you generous gifts as a token of gratitude for your cooperation. And we will perhaps refrain from blowing them up? Your ship departs into the icy void, leaving the schemers of Idex behind. Honestly, not entirely sure we made the right choice there, but that's fine, though. We've got some more clear-cut enemies of humanity right over yonder. We'll knock these guys out, and then I think we'll be at a good place to call it. Alright, what have we got? Oh, wow, Eldari. Huh. Narratively, that feels kind of weird. You'd really think Yurliet would have said something, or... Well, no, I mean, I guess the complete lack of any sort of narrative lead-in implies this is really just filler combat. So I guess I probably shouldn't think too deep into it. Especially since it's just fringe content for one of the DLC, which has otherwise been completely devoid of Eldari content. We'll blow them up, see what happens.
All hands, prepare for acceleration. Lance batteries, volley!
Rotate. What's that? Oh, evasion cloud. Good choice. Wow, completely unscathed. So I guess the sword must have shields. They're just very, very thin. Yeah, it did mention in the combat log that their shields completely ate the blasts. Eldari flagship out. We'll push through the gas, but not linger in it. I'd rather have accuracy over evasion. We'll use Adira's warp jump. Shields to 4. shift right. Get right up on top of the sword, try to draw fire. Oof. Yeah, that one hurt. So yes, they do have shields, but they are paper thin. Nice, nice. Okie dokie. Let's wrap this up. Oh, shoot. And completely glossed over that guy since their mirror shield was down. Oh well. We'll hit him with the mag guns. And, I mean, salvo still got put to good use. That'll do it.
Let the void sort them out.
Lovely. One more tap. Come on.
Let them taste our fury.
And we are good. Which sadly gives us a bunch of trophies we don't need. As well as an X38 Auspex multiband. 90% base hit chance, 10% crit. Provides allies with targeting data, increasing their lance weapon and macro cannons damage by 20% and accuracy by 30. Oh, that's actually kind of fun, especially since we do basically have our own fleet, albeit a very small one. I don't know, though. Losing 8% on accuracy is pretty rough. I like the concept, I just, you know, the raw numbers aren't super appealing. But, more notably, sector clear. So yes, I think that does leave us in a very good spot for next time. Bit of a weird episode, you know, a little all over the place, given that events on Trimmier did wrap a mite bit quicker than I expected. Really thought we'd have more follow-up there. But, I mean, it did let us take a chunk out of our remaining to-do list. So at this point, I think we do stand a pretty good chance of knocking out the rest of it in the next episode, at which point it'll just be Solo's mission, and then Kalkazar's thing, which itself is likely to be pretty significant, since it also, I think, encompasses at least 2 or 3 other companion quests. But I guess we'll find out soon. See you then. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Yuri V23, Revenant, Alois, Aerobowman, Dragon Matrix 7, Drakiith, EgonAlter, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Lady Shayna, Mark Giemza, Nathan Welch Jr., OverlordPherom, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.
Then what are we waiting for? Get a scribe in here! We need to get all this down before we forget.